Welcome back to the Now Morning Show, ladies and gentlemen. Now, on the 27th of June 2018 was the last time that we saw Sharday Emmanuel. Sharday Emmanuel went missing 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago now, and her mom is here with me this morning, Marilyn Emmanuel. Good morning, Marilyn.
Good morning.
Now, I can't even begin to imagine what you must have been going through as a parent, but tell us about that day, like the 27th of June 2018.
Got up early in the morning, as I usually do every morning to go to work, and I called Sharday around 6:15 to remind her. Something else to remind her. And I asked her if she was going to drop her brother to the airport with her boyfriend, because he was going to Canada to work.
The boyfriend was going to Canada to work? Or the
her
brother
was going to
right.
Canada to work. And she didn't respond, but she texted me after. And around after 10, about 11, her father called and said, "Did you get in contact with Sharday?" I said, "She messaged this morning, you know." He said her boyfriend is trying to get on to her, and he's not getting on. And he's trying, and he's not getting on. So I was kind of worried, because normally, long as Sharday missed a phone call from us, she'll call us back or text us back.
Right.
And I was trying, and phone was just ringing. And it was really weird. So, in the afternoon, around 2:30, my husband came and picked me up from work. And we were still trying. Wasn't getting through. So we went home, and he spoke to her boyfriend. And he said he's trying to get on to Sharday still, but he has some things to do, so he's going to do whatever he has to do, and then he will try to see if he get on to her. Never happened. Until around after 8 in the night, we were still trying, and then her phone went unanswered. It wasn't hearing anything, it wasn't even ringing.
It just went straight to voicemail.
Straight to voicemail. And we know that's not her.
Yeah.
So my husband called the Brasso police station and asked how long it will take to call to find out when somebody missing. How long do we have to take? And they said, "You can come right away." And we went right away and made a report.
And were there any investigations take place? Did you get any sort of...
Yes, they acted it really good, but just had one female officer there, and she told us, "Don't worry, give her 2 days and she will come back." So I'm looking at her like, what? I know my child. My child don't ever go missing without even calling or contacting us, because we are close. And the rest of male officers were there, and they was helping us out. And they called anti-kidnapping, and they told us, okay, they coming home with us and do a thorough check to see if she's there. And they did. Anti-kidnapping came in about 2 days after, and they start the investigation.
And have they given you guys any sort of... Did they have any headway,
They have.
suspects?
They have. But because of some DNA, they can't do anything about it. They have to get DNA results first to get like solid information to hold the suspect that they have.
And this is 2 years later, 2.5 years later?
2.5 years later. And just about prior to the day she went missing, almost a year after, they got remains of a burnt body. Well, it was just bones.
Right.
In Santa Flora, I think it's the oil field road. And we're still waiting on DNA testing from that, because it was covered in a sponge, vinyl, some old things they covered it to burn the body. And just a fragment of a piece of a garment that she was using was onto the bone. And that's how our father knew that has to be her, just by the small fragment.
So you believe that was her?
Yes. So we're still waiting on DNA testing.
On the DNA testing, so it's been a year since they retrieved this body, the burnt body.
Like a year and a half, you can say. Yeah, a year and a half.
And they didn't give you an estimate as to how long it takes to do DNA testing?
No, right now they said the labs are down, so it will take a while before we get some results. So it's kind of hard to deal with at the same time. I pray a lot, we pray a lot, and that helps us go through most of the days.
I would imagine it's not definitely, it's definitely a trial every single day to get up. And how did you get through that period where you're unsure, you're still unsure because you still haven't gotten back any results?
It's like in her room, nothing hasn't been touched. The only thing I did, I gave her away her bed. Connect. I couldn't have been around there because I normally make it up, change sheets, like if she's there. So I gave her away her bed. And in December last year, I strip her wardrobe, I wash all her scrubs, pack it back neat, pack her wardrobe. But her chest of drawers, I cannot go inside there as yet. I can't build up that courage to go in there as yet. So.
Are you all still close with her boyfriend?
No. Since after this whole ordeal, they hold him. They release him 3 days after. They hold him back for questioning. And after that day, he never gets in contact with us, never call us, never check on us.
Do you believe he had something to do with it?
Yes, strongly believe that. Because it have voice notes that she sent to her friends. Well, one of her friends, and we didn't know about it. She tell her best friend about what was taking place with her, and we didn't know anything about it. It's like she didn't want to open up to come and let us know because she was afraid. And she didn't want to, I don't know what she was thinking. And her best friend, at least for me, if I'm her best friend and something goes wrong with my best friend, I'll find some way to tell her parent. I don't have to tell her, so well, Sharday is going through this or Sharday is going through that. Just talk to Sharday and just give her some hints. At least we will know. But don't keep it to yourself. Don't keep it and share it with other people. Tell her parents.
I mean, that's a lesson for young people everywhere, is that I know that sometimes we feel, you could handle something or you could deal with it and you don't need your parents because you don't want to seem like a child.
Yes. Because like we brought them up to be responsible. Okay, if something happened, come to us, we help you. And she went to her friends instead of coming to her parents. So it was to deal with. It's extremely hard.
And how old was she?
When she went missing, she was 20, going on 21. She would have been 21 the 30th of July.
So that's mere days before her birthday.
A month, well, yeah, I could say about a month and 3 days.
3 days, yeah. I'm so sorry to hear this, Marilyn.
Yes.
And I mean, how's your family holding together?
Well, it's just my husband and myself and my son. We don't like to talk about it.
Did he go to Canada?
He went to Canada. He came back. He didn't go back after that. And he don't like to talk about it. It's like sometimes things will come up and we'll just remember what she used to do and we'll talk about it and he will stay quiet. He really take part of it. Very rare you'll hear him say, yes, and Sharday used to do this. That's in a blue moon.
And he's younger or older?
He's older.
He's older.
He'll be 27th next month.
Okay. Do you guys think that you ever go through any sort of therapy or counseling?
No, we never went through counseling. Once, when this whole ordeal started, about 4 days after, they brought in a person to counsel me. And they said they'll come back. We spent about 10 minutes, if so much. And they said they'll come back, and they never did. So counseling, no.
No, you don't think it's for you?
It's not that it's for me, It would be nice, But it's like, I want to go through together with my husband, together with my son, to know what they're feeling, what's going on in their minds. Like as a family, not just as on a one-on-one, as a family. So, everybody can share their thoughts.
It's like a nice group session.
Yes.
Sort of situation. What do you hope to get by telling us your story?
That the person who is responsible for her just come out and tell someone what you did. Clear your conscience. And at least for young ladies, young women, if you're going through anything, could be what, you have people to talk to. Come out and let someone know. Someone could help you. Don't just keep it in. Abuse, you're not supposed to be going through any abuse whatsoever without letting someone know.
How do you tell somebody that you're being abused? How do you tell? How would you have liked your daughter to tell you that? Like, how would you? I imagine, like, I have a daughter, and if anybody was to do that, I would probably end up in jail.
Well, I thought about that, my same thing, you know. I thought about that. It's like we were close together. Come on and say, Mommy, you know, my boyfriend hits me, or Mommy, I don't like my boyfriend because he's a bully. Tell me something about it. We can work with it.
Mm-hmm.
We can get you out of that. It's not that you're married to the person, you're obligated to the person, you're not. So just come out and say something, and we will work with you.
But that shame of saying, you know, of being able to say, I chose this person, maybe not for life yet, but I chose this person to be with, to say that I'm going to give love to, or whatever the case is, and they are not treating me well. I imagine that there would be some shame in saying that, admitting that to yourself and to your parents.
That is true. But at the same time, you'd rather be abused and be unhappy than to be not abused and be happy.
Mm-hmm. With a little bit of shame.
With a little bit of shame. At least they have nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is also a lesson to men on the outside, because, you know, abuse is... You don't need to do it.
No.
You don't need to do it. I think if somebody makes you unhappy, you can leave. If somebody is not pleasing whatever you think needs to be pleased, you need to leave. But you also need to grow up and accept responsibility for your actions. And I do agree with you, and I understand you want somebody to come forward to be able to say, this was a situation, even if they are sorry or they're not sorry, as the case may be. You want them to come forward to be able to say, yes, this gets some closure on the situation.
That's true.
Well, Marilyn, I hope that you're able to get that closure soon. I hope that the DNA results at least can come back, and that would provide some level of closure, I would imagine.
At least some level. At least we would not know what took place.
Yeah.
But at least we get something. We have at least her bones. At least we get some part of her.
So that corpse that they found in Santa Flora, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have that, or it's still under custody, or
still under custody?
Wow.
So and then her boyfriend has his father live in Santa Flora, so he knows Santa Flora, and his mother live in Londonville, so he knows the area.
So it doesn't really help his case very much.
No. So it's very tedious, very emotional, very depressing to deal with.
And your husband, Junior Emmanuel, how has he been coping with it?
It's really hard for him on a daily basis, because you know how he was with her, and knowing that she's not there, because we always call her baby girl. She was a premature baby.
Okay.
So you know, you always have to spend that extra time with her and watching her grow up to this beautiful young lady. It's like no words can explain. No words.
I saw an article in the Newsday from back in 2018 where Junior was saying that he did not suspect the boyfriend.
No, because the boyfriend used to talk to him a lot.
Right.
He never used to actually talk to me.
Okay.
Because once I spoke to him in a very rough way. I didn't like what he did. And I find why you should have Sharday hiding. And I spoke to him in a very rough way. And after that, he don't really actually come out to me. He will more go and talk to Junior.
Okay.
So we don't really had a relationship going. That's it.
But does Junior now suspect him as well? Or he's still
After,
holding his...
no, after what we went through and seeing, well, what the police let us to see, and you know, after you're going through this thing, is you're not thinking straight. And after you started thinking straight and everything started coming to me, yeah, it's like, okay, you know, they were showing me this, and you know, I can see this, and this is true. And you wouldn't be saying the same thing right now.
So you would say that the police, the TTPS, was very helpful in the situation. They've been very forthcoming with information.
Yes, they were very helpful, and I think they could have been a little more helpful, but at the circumstances and what we were going through, they help us a lot.
All right, well, I want to thank you very much for coming and sharing your story with us this morning, Marilyn Emmanuel. I know that it's not easy to do, and even 3 years later, I'm sure it doesn't get easier as time goes by.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's very hard, especially on certain days for me. As soon as I reach home, I find myself in my kitchen.
To keep busy?
Yes. My mind has to be busy. As soon as I have like a small time to myself, it's like I'm lost. Even on work, I keep myself busy as much as possible just to get my head off, just not to think too much. Because as soon as you start to think, that's it. Sometimes the littlest thing will just trigger you off. It's like, oh my goodness, I'll just move away. Simplest thing will trigger you off.
Can you keep running from it, though?
You can't, you know. You have to face it. You have to. So it's tedious for me on a daily basis. But by praying helps me a whole lot. I will pray and I will sing, and I'm so loud. I don't really, well, cares who listening or who had anything to say, but that pleases me, and that helps me so far.
And if that's how you have to cope, then that's how you have to cope.
Oh, yes.
Definitely. Well, thank you again for joining us this morning, Marilyn Emmanuel, the mother of Sharday Emmanuel, who went missing on June 27th, 2018, and has not been found yet. And we're still waiting DNA results from a possible corpse that could have been her, and still waiting on the results, still waiting on suspects to be, let's say, arrested and charged. Arrested and charged. So, you know, this is just one case of so many that we want to never forget, because in this sweet island of Trinidad and Tobago, we need to eradicate the monsters that do this. We need to get rid of the people who think that this is okay, and it's okay to be quiet about it. And we are too small of an island for somebody out there to not know anything about it. So please, feel free to come forward and share information if you have it. We'll be back with more Inside the Now Morning Show. Stay tuned.